and Duke, featuring Apple CarPlay. First, you disrupt conventions. Then you say, let's improvise.
To the 2020 Sharelle McMahon Medal. I'm Bianca Chatfield and I get the pleasure of being your host tonight. I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land in which this event takes place and wherever everyone at home is watching from tonight, and pay our respects to the elders, past, present and emerging, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people present today. There are also some special guests that we want to mention who are at home watching in Melbourne. Netball Victoria President Rochelle McKenzie and the fellow board directors, Chief Executive Officer Rosie King and staff, Netball Australia representatives including Chair Paulina Hunt and CEO Marnie Fechner, Australian Netball Champion, Melbourne Vixens legend, and of course the namesake of tonight's medal, Sharelle McMahon, who is very disappointed she can't be here, but I know is at home watching. Melbourne Vixens head coach, Simone McInnes, OAM. Melbourne Vixens patron, Joyce Brown, OAM. Joyce, I hope you figured it all out there back home and that you're with us tonight. The Honourable Martin Pakula, Minister for Tourism, Sport and Major Events. Of course, we need to thank all of our valued partners, include Deakin University, Bupa, Origin, Puma, Woolworths, Victorian Institute of Sport, Nissan, Azito, Flight Centre, Cadbury, City of Melbourne, Gilbert, Mapai, Remedy, Strappit, Supercore, Jetport, Hampers with Bite and CMS Australasia. Thank you so much for your support throughout what has been a very difficult and strange year on the court. And of course, to all of our beloved members and supporters that has stuck with us even through what has been a random year. You couldn't come to any games, but we know the support has certainly been there from home. So we thank you for that. And of course, our guests of honour this evening, to the 2020 Suncorp Super Netball Premiers, all of you in the room tonight, all the squad members, the support staff, the coaches, welcome to tonight's event. It is great to have you all here, and it's great to have you all at home watching around Australia. The Vixens took off for an adventure 94 days ago, not knowing how long this season would last, not knowing if they would get through all 60 matches. But they did. And we know that a lot of the support from home has been the driving force behind this team. We are so glad back in Victoria that the games could bring you so much joy in the crazy lockdown times that you were all experiencing. Please know that everyone up here in the room tonight are thinking of you all and the performance that was put out there on court throughout the whole season, but especially yesterday, was all about doing it for Victoria and doing it for all of you at home. We also want to make a special mention to our partners from Hampers with Bite, who sent our all lovely hampers out to VIP guests so they could enjoy and celebrate in style for tonight's event. We hope everyone is ready to enjoy the night. Even though you cannot physically be in the room with us, Why not open a bottle of bubbles and celebrate? I know there is a big group of past Victorian players that are all watching on Zoom together, and I guarantee you they're going to have a champagne in their hands. Tonight we are here to celebrate the success that was the 2020 Suncorp Super Netball season, which came to an end yesterday and in the very best way with that Premiership trophy. The first team to win the minor Premiership and go on to win that grand final. It takes an enormous amount of work, dedication, resilience, and, as the girls have learnt, a whole heap of agility on and off the court. Tonight is about celebrating that season. It's also about individual achievements and the Premiership, of course. But the main thing, the Sharelle McMahon Medalist for 2020. Before we get started with the awards for the evening, it now gives me a great pleasure to welcome Netball Victoria and Melbourne Vixens President Rochelle McKenzie and CEO Rosie King to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2020 Sharelle McMahon Medal. I'm joined this evening by Netball Victoria's and Melbourne Vixens President Rochelle McKenzie, and we're both absolutely delighted to be here, albeit in these unique circumstances of celebration. I begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we're meeting this evening, wherever we are across the country. Whether it's in Victoria or Queensland or other parts of our beautiful country, I pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. In true 2020 style, we're celebrating this year's Sharelle McMahon Medal online, creating history yet again in 2020. But of course, we so wish that we could be in the same room to celebrate the truly unique yet incredibly successful season we've had. Now, up in Brisbane, we welcome our Melbourne Vixens playing group, led by co-captains Kate Maloney and Liz Watson, plus our coaching and support staff, led by head coach Simone McInnes, OAM, plus, of course, the Netball Victoria and the Melbourne Vixens support team, who have worked so tirelessly, as they always do, but even more so under these crazy and difficult circumstances that we've had this year. Thank you for bringing so much joy this season. We've loved watching the team demonstrate your talents through the 2020 Suncorp Super Netball season. Now, with us online tonight, we welcome members of the team and support staff who, for varying reasons beyond their control, haven't been able to carry out their roles with the team this year. This has obviously been very difficult for all involved, but whether you've been on the ground in the team in Brisbane or working from home in Melbourne, we simply could not have had this year without your commitment and dedication. As for others joining us online, I'd also like to welcome Melbourne Vixens patron Joyce Brown, OAM, Netball Australia's Chair, Paulina Hunt, our Netball Victoria board members, and our inaugural Melbourne Vixens #1 ticket holders, Jane McDonald and Anthony McDonald-Tippenwoody, plus Melbourne Vixens and Netball Victoria partners who have stood by us through the most difficult of circumstances this year, and of course the families and partners of the loved ones of our incredible Melbourne Vixens. Your support has always been unwavering, and we can only imagine how hard it's been this year to not only spend so much time apart, but not to be able to be there in person to celebrate the achievements this year. Also, to our members and supporters who are joining us online tonight, thank you for so much for standing by our club, not only through the good times, but perhaps even more importantly, through the hard year that we've had. Our members are the lifeblood of our club, and we simply would not have been able to put the team on the court without you. And lastly, but certainly not least, I would like to welcome the one and only Sharelle McMahon, Melbourne Vixens #1 and the namesake of our highest individual honour you can earn by being a Vixen. But besides being that, we believe the greatest netballer in the country that we've ever seen. Sharelle is also our Vixens assistant coach, a respected media personality and one of the best advocates for our sport that you could ask for.
2020, what a year. Arguably, as a club, it has been one of our most successful years to date, which is a true testament to everyone involved. To be minor premiers, grand finalists and finally the premiers in a season that threw so many curveballs in our way is a fantastic achievement. To succeed in 2020 is even more spectacular than in normal circumstances, given everything we've had to navigate. On behalf of the board, we appreciate and acknowledge the sacrifices every one of the Vixens team, coaches and support staff have made in 2020 to enable this season to be played. especially for us in Victoria, who have had no netball for many weeks, apart from proudly watching Vixens games. There have been so many highlights this year, it's impossible for me to mention them all right now. But there are a few Rosie and I would like to briefly mention. Firstly, we know individual milestones are never the focus of any of the playing group. This does not mean they are not worthy of acknowledgement. Incredibly, we had 2 players play their 100th National League games this year. And I say incredibly, as in just 1 year we have doubled the number of players to reach this milestone whilst exclusively wearing a Vixens dress. Fittingly, both of our co-captains reached this milestone this year. Kate in round 3 and Liz in round 14. And whilst we are sure it wasn't the 100th game celebration you both imagined, we are sure it was still special nonetheless. How special that night we have all of our Vixens Centurions in one room. With the others, of course, being Tegan Phillip and our wonderful host this evening, Bianca Chatfield. And even though round 1 seems like a long time ago now, we cannot forget that Emily Mannix notched up her 50th National League game as well this season. After waiting 10 months to play that game, I'm sure getting out there and getting the win over the Magpies felt extra sweet.
This season has seen a new group of debutantes. We were so thrilled to see Kate Eddy run out and officially become Vixen number 49 in round 1. It's hardly been the way to welcome you back to Victoria, Kate, seeing you've spent the entire season in Queensland, but it's been fantastic to have you back nonetheless. Then in round 2, Vixen number 46, Taylor Honey, officially made her debut. We know it's been a long time coming, Taylor, made extra long due to COVID-19, but we believe it's been worth the wait. We were delighted to present 4 more Vixens numbers this year. Number 50, Jackie Newton, 51, Elle McDonald, 52, Ali Smith, and number 53, Sasha McDonald. Your commitment to the club and the hub in Queensland this year has been the ultimate act of selflessness from you all, and you have played your roles superbly. We're so proud to have you all as part of our Vixens family, as netballers, but more importantly as the beautiful people that you are, and we hope that we can all continue to play a part in the future success of our great club.
And now to our retirees. It's with a happy sadness that we acknowledge the retirement tonight of Caitlin and Tegan. 2 very different careers which have intertwined rather poetically at various stages over the journey to see you both finishing up here on a high with the Vixens. Tegan is a proud one-club Vixens player for her entire elite netball career. Whilst it has been an honour to have watched Caitlin's playing career develop from a young 15-year-old to the mature, confident player she is today. Caitlin's retirement is the end of an era, being the last Victorian and one of only 2 Commonwealth Bank trophy players still playing at elite level. We'll miss the individual values you both bring to our team, on but also off the court. We also know you will always be part of the Vixens family. We will miss you both terribly, but are so excited for the adventures that lie ahead for you both in the next phases of your lives.
We as netball fans know that our sport is physically demanding, tough and can be sometimes brutal. And we understand that the unique pressures that our professional netballers face is unlike any other in the mainstream sporting landscape. In many parts of the world there is a strong and proud netball community, but likewise there are many who are yet to witness our fearless nature of our sport. Our partner Puma has done an incredible job in co-creating the hashtag Witness Fearless campaign this year, which through their incredible national and international reach and influence has brought netball to many more fans. Despite adversities thrown at the team this year, our Vixens have shown that they are truly a fearless group, and we absolutely love them for it.
Congratulations again on a successful 2020 season. We hope everyone enjoys this evening's proceedings and look forward to coming together in the near future to celebrate in person.
Thank you to Rochelle and Rosie. Why don't we get to now celebrating some of our debutantes and our milestones? And I'm going to ask the most capped Vixens player, Tegan Phillip, to join me up on stage. Firstly, we would like to congratulate Emily Mannix on 50 National League matches, which she achieved in round 1. And as Rochelle mentioned, please welcome our co-captains to the stage, celebrating their 100th National League matches this season. Please put your hands together for Kate Maloney and Liz Watson. And something that we know is very special to our club is making sure that every single player that steps onto the court has their number. So to start us off, number 46 for the Melbourne Vixens, Taylor Honey. Number 49, Kate Eddy. Number 50, Jackie Newton. Number 51, Elle McDonald. Number 52, Ali Smith. Number 53, Sasha McDonald. We would also like to acknowledge our training partners back in Melbourne who have put in an incredible amount of work behind the scenes. Please put your hands together for Ruby Barkmeyer and Jordan Kransberg. It's now time to get to our Rookie of the Year. Tegan, please stay. Don't go anywhere, okay? The reason Tegan is staying up here, everybody, is because in Tegan's very first year in 2010, she did win this award, so it's quite fitting that she gets to hand it over to the 2020 Rookie of the Year. This award goes to an individual that has contributed to the team's culture and has been at the team no longer than 2 seasons and has not played more than 8 matches in that previous season. The winner of the 2020 Rookie of the Year award is Ali Smith. Ali made her official debut for the Vixens in round 10, where she became Melbourne Vixen Club member number 52. During her debut match, she put an impressive performance with 2 intercepts, 3 deflections and 30 Nissan net points. After her dominant performance, she was then granted a position in the starting 7 in the round 14 match. We look forward to seeing what Ali does from here. Congratulations, Ali. Our next award is the Outstanding Service Award. I would like to call upon our co-captains, Liz Watson and Kate Maloney, to the stage to make this presentation. This award is voted on by all team staff and athletes and is awarded to the person that has significantly contributed to the development of the team. The winner of this award has provided great support to athletes and staff across the entire year and has represented the team in line with the Vixens' values. In a year where so many upheavals and challenges as 2020 has brought us, there could have been so many recipients. From the above and beyond approach of our own JT, taking on 10 different roles with enthusiasm and brilliance. From the never too much trouble of our crew back in Melbourne, a big shout out to Sharelle, to Susan Meaney, to Steve, to Jamie and to Sam. Honestly, even I have been hearing about how much you've been doing at home and it's very, very much appreciated. To Emma and Shana, who didn't even know everyone before they made this trip up here, you have done so much for everyone at the club, for all of the girls. Incredible women you are. To Di Honey, an all-round legend that we all know, a friend, a confidant, the jokester of the team at times. She gives so much to this club. She dropped everything, literally in a minute's notice. Really epitomises the team first values of the Vixens. To Lisa Taylor, friend, mum, team manager extraordinaire, probably the most used name across the whole team all the time. No words really do acknowledge what Lisa does and all the tireless effort she goes to behind the scenes. To all of our athletes too, each and every one of you has given everything you possibly could, making so many personal sacrifices. You have been fierce, you have been fearless, and you are incredible ambassadors to our sport. I'm now going to hand over to Kate and Lizzie to announce the winner of the award.
So I guess talking to the girls, this was a really hard decision. Like we've heard from Bianca that so many people have given so much, but I think of all years, this year definitely has stood out, and this person has worked very, very tirelessly for the club for such a long time. They're the most passionate, vocal, I don't want to give it away too much, but I've been lucky enough to have this amazing person with me for my whole journey at the club. So the winner
of the Outstanding Service Award is Simone McInnes.
In a year that could not be more difficult for a head coach, Simone kept everyone together and motivated through lockdown, quarantine and hub life. She has been selfless and always puts the team first. She set a vision for the team and has kept on course through the year. Tough, steely, passionate, funny, resilient and demanding of excellence. Simone, your leadership has been profound. Everybody put your hands together for Simone McInnes. It's now time to get to our next award, Excellence in Sport and Life. The next award for this evening, I would like to welcome Netball Victoria General Manager of Communications, Marketing and Partnerships, Kristen Penny. You can give her a clap. This award is presented to a player deemed to have demonstrated a balanced lifestyle as determined by the Vixens management team, coaching and support staff. This year could not have shone a light on how extraordinary our netball athletes are. From continuing on training and working through lockdown, playing a condensed season with multiple games per week without their loved ones or family by their side, while studying and working from their temporary home away from home. They have been absolutely phenomenal. This year's Excellence in Sport and Life Award goes to an athlete truly excelling in her off-court life while giving back to the sport we all love. The winner of the 2020 Excellence in Sport and Life Award is Jo Weston. Jo continues to demonstrate a great work-life balance on a daily basis. Not only is she a dedicated member of the Vixens team, she is also completing her Masters in Communications at Deakin University. In the last 12 months, Jo has also taken on the Vice Presidency of the Australian Netball Players Association. She's been an integral part in looking after both the interests of the Vixens and other players in the Suncorp Super Netball competition. This list keeps going, Jo. You've done a lot. She sits on the board of Melbourne University Sports and is a player representative on the Suncorp Super Netball Competitions Committee. Away from the court, Jo continues to deliver memorable quotes. Now, these are some of the ones that I enjoy the most. Circle defenders should get a bonus point for each intercept they take in the Power 5. I do agree, Jo. There are only so many balls and whistles on a bike before you can call it a clown car. That was one of your best. No wonder everyone in the competition put Jo Weston's name up to be the Prime Minister. Jo, you've excelled on social media this year also. You've been a solid and consistent on the court. You've truly shone, though, in your off-court leadership roles. Congratulations on being awarded the 2020 Melbourne Vixens Excellence in Sport and Life Award. The next award, honestly, is the crowd favourite. It's the one I hear spoken about all the time. It was the one Emily Mannix wanted me to read out her name no matter what last night after the game. It is the Coaches Award. Can Melbourne Vixens head coach Simone McInnes please join me to assist in the presentation? The award is voted on by coaching staff and is presented to an athlete who has shown significant growth on court in both competition and training throughout the year. The winner of the 2020 Coaches Award is taking home a $250 voucher from Puma. Are we ready, girls? That's right, drum roll, Emily Mannix. The 2020 Coaches Award goes to Caitlin Thwaites. Katie is always a true professional when it comes to netball. Even in her 18th season at the top level, she has continued to lead by example and is always available to provide guidance and assistance to all of her younger teammates. Her experience and hard work will be missed by all involved at the club. But we wish you well, Katie, for your next endeavours. Simone, come back up. Don't you go anywhere. Before we get to the next award, I thought it was very important that we acknowledge not just what happened this season, but what actually happened yesterday. We haven't had a chance to even talk about the grand final and the fact the Melbourne Vixens are the premiers for 2020. Let's take a look at the highlights package from the game yesterday against the West Coast Fever.
That was unbelievable! She flew through the air, Kate Eddie. Oh, horrendous. That is what is so good about her. Bring the hands down, and it will. And this could very well cement their premiership. And the moment that belongs to the Melbourne Vixens, the one trophy that has eluded them, is now theirs.
Congratulations to our 2020 Suncorp Super Netball champions, the Melbourne Vixens. That was the first time that I think some of the girls have even seen some of the footage. Simone, has it sunk in yet?
It has sunk in, it has, and it was really nice, especially nice to wake up this morning and just that we're the premiers. And I don't have to think about the next game or the next training or anything, that we could just relax and that we got there. It was, an incredible achievement and a fantastic day, and I'll cherish it for forever.
What was the inspiration behind your celebration move right at the end? Did you want to give us another demo?
No, you can't. That's just embarrassing, honestly. No, it was just that, because it was so tight and it's so close and you sort of, all wound up, and it was just that moment of, like, we did it. And it was just like, we did it. It was just that, it was just that excitement. We did it. We did it. Well,
You did do it.
Yep.
There we go. Now, we talk about this year being so challenging. It's been obviously something that it's constantly spoken about. Can you just outline what have been some of the toughest hurdles that you have all had to get through as a group?
I think we go right back to the start, and I think particularly leading into moving up here into quarantine, we, not knowing what was going to be happening, when anything was going to happen, where we were going, but I think there was probably a week or 2 weeks where we were on call and on standby about going, and so, you're on Zoom calls every day and you're not going, and so then they'd get the call, we've got training. It was just having to keep things on. It was just at that height, and then it was actually just a relief to actually get into quarantine and get up here and to get the season started. But I think everybody across the season, there's been, being up here, the girls, the staff, back home as well, but they've just got on with things, and they've just adapted and adjusted and taken everything in stride and just pushed themselves to be better each time.
We know you won a premiership as a coach back in 2014 and now again in 2020. How do they compare?
Gosh, 2014 does seem like a really long time ago, and actually there was one thing that I do remember from 2014 is that I was just exhausted at the end of it, and I went home early that night and I swore that if I win another premiership I'm going to celebrate. So if I sound a bit croaky and a bit tired, I stood true to my word that I celebrated. It was early days in my coaching though as well. It was my second year, and so I'm really fortunate to have had a premiership in the second year. And as a couple of the players would know as well, really hard to come by, and the work that has to actually go in to get to that premiership. So really satisfying, because it's been a few years of hard work to get to where we got to yesterday.
Now we know we have many of our fans, staff, everybody who's loved the club, been watching the club from home. Do you have a message for everyone back in Victoria?
We were just so thankful and appreciative of the support that we had back home from members that pledged their membership for the season, that were tuning in, that were sending messages. They were a big part of our journey and our experience up here, and we would have absolutely loved to have been playing in Melbourne in front of our own crowd, but we always felt that we had everybody behind us, and we wouldn't have got where we did today without them. It was awesome. It was awesome to see, and there was certainly some great packages that you all put together before the telecast that everyone got to see before the game. I think it's important that we give everybody the opportunity in Melbourne to join us in celebrating this enormous premiership in what's been a crazy year. So I would like to welcome all of the team, all of the 14 girls up onto stage. Make sure you bring your glass of champagne or whatever you've got on your tables, bring it up with you. I think it's important that we take this time to celebrate. Make sure everyone at home as well, if you have a glass of bubbles with you, grab that, fill up that glass. It sure is a momentous occasion. I'm just going to move out the way, Kate, so you can come right up here. B, while the girls are getting up on stage, I just do really want to, publicly in this forum, thank the amazing staff that I've had up here with me in this for this season, those that have travelled with us, died getting up here at last minute notice, and our staff that have been here. We wouldn't have had this success, and I wouldn't have been able to do the coaching that I've been able to do without the staff that we've had here, and that includes the staff that are back home as well. So, I thank them. We wouldn't be here without them, so thank you. So someone grab that trophy. Grab your glasses. Everyone, please raise your glasses to the 2020 Suncorp Super Netball Premiers, the Melbourne Vixens. Congratulations, girls.
now it's time to get to an award that this year has been, or has a huge amount of special meaning to it. The Player of the Finals Award. I'll now ask assistant coach Di Honey to join me up on stage to award this. The Player of the Finals Award is voted on by the coaching staff based on the most outstanding player performance in all of the final appearances. The winner of the 2020 Player of the Finals Award is Jo Weston. Jo put out a strong performance for both the Vixens' final appearances. She continues to be a fierce competitor and continually puts her body on the line. Jo played an impressive semi-final with 2 gains, 2 intercepts, 1 deflection, 10 centre pass receives, which is very impressive for a goal defence, and 5 pickups. She then backed up that performance in the grand final with 2 gains, 1 intercept, 3 deflections, 8 centre pass receives, 3 pickups, a deserving winner of the Player of the Finals. Congratulations, Jo. Congratulations to all award winners so far. That now brings us to the time of night where we commence the vote count. Suncorp Super Netball matches throughout the 2020 season. The voting system, now let me go through this. Basically, after every home and away match throughout the season, all 3 coaches award a 3, 2 and 1 to the players they consider to be best on court. That means there is a total of 18 points available each round. The votes are then tallied at the end of the season, and the athlete with the most votes is announced the Sharelle McMahon Medalist. A runner-up prize will also be awarded to the athlete receiving the second highest number of votes. Netball Victoria President Rochelle McKenzie will have the honours of reading out the votes for the first 4 matches. But before Rochelle does that, let's take a look at some highlights.
10 months on from their last Suncorp Super Netball outing, the Melbourne Vixens gave their fans something to smile about in round 1, recording a 63-52 victory over their crosstown rivals, the Collingwood Magpies. After a tight tussle throughout the first 3 quarters, the Vixens pulled away with a convincing 18-9 final quarter to secure the 11-goal win. Kate Eddy and Jackie Newton were exceptional in their Vixens debut, and 2019 Sharelle McMahon medalist Emily Mannix notched up her 50th National League match. In round 2, the Vixens took on Queensland Firebirds and put on a clinical display, demolishing the hosts 78-50, sending the league an early message that they were a force to be reckoned with this season.
Nailed it to Gwenda, absolute power.
After securing an early lead throughout the match, the Vixens never looked back. Liz Watson was named Player of the Match, lighting up the midcourt with 22 goal assists and 35 feeds. The match also saw Taylor Honey make her official Vixens debut. Round 3 saw the Vixens host the Sunshine Coast Lightning at their home venue on a Wednesday night, and it wouldn't be the last time this would happen. The first of many midweek matches, the Vixens performed admirably, securing the win 63-51.
Just one super shot.
She'll take that all day.
Co-captain Kate Maloney played her 100th National League match, an achievement that had only been accomplished by 2 others before her. She was also awarded Player of the Match with 13 goal assists, 22 feeds, 3 pickups and an intercept. Emily Mannix also had a dominant performance with 7 gained balls, 5 deflections and 3 intercepts down in defence. The Vixens suffered their first defeat for the season in round 4, falling against a spirited Adelaide Thunderbirds outfit 47-54. In a physical match, the Vixens were fighting to gain control right from the very first centre pass.
Kate Maloney read that beautifully.
The defensive trio of Mannix, Weston and Eddy put up a solid performance in a disappointing loss, with 7 deflections between them.
Round 1, Melbourne Vixens versus Collingwood Magpies. 9 votes, Kate Maloney. 5 votes, Kate Eddy. 3 votes, Liz Watson. 1 vote, Caitlin Thwaites. Round 2, Queensland Firebirds versus Melbourne Vixens. 8 votes, Liz Watson. 4 votes, Kate Maloney. 4 votes, Tegan Phillip. 2 votes, Jo Weston. Round 3, Melbourne Vixens versus Sunshine Coast Lightning. 9 votes, Kate Maloney. 2 votes, Jo Weston. 2 votes, Liz Watson. 2 votes, Emily Mannix. 2 votes, Tegan Phillip. 1 vote, Kate Eddy. Round 4, Melbourne Vixens versus Adelaide Thunderbirds. 8 votes, Kate Eddy. 5 votes, Kate Maloney. 2 votes, Tegan Phillip. 1 vote, Jo Weston. 1 vote, Caitlin Thwaites. 1 vote, Emily Mannix. And now let's look at the highlights from rounds 5 to 8.
Round 5 saw the Vixens take on the West Coast Fever. Coming off their first loss of the season, the Vixens had a point to prove and they were able to take the win 68-59.
Great reach over the ball, Jo Weston.
The match saw a strong performance across the court, starting from the outstretched arms of goalkeeper Emily Mannix and ending with the precise shooting from Caitlin Thwaites and Tegan Phillip. Phillip took out player of the match with a tally of 34 goals throughout the game, which included 8 super shots. Elle McDonald also became the 4th squad member to make her debut for the Vixens this season. The round 6 clash against the Giants lived up to the Vixens' new Witness Fearless mantra, with the Vixens taking the points in a thriller, 63-58. The Vixens were able to mix things up in their shooting circle, playing Caitlin Thwaites in the goal attack position, a position she started her career in 18 years ago. The match also saw the team's versatility in defence, with Jo Weston and Kate Eddy continuing to be flexible between the goal defence and wing defence positions. Kate Maloney was awarded match MVP in another commanding performance. Round 7 and the Vixens had a point to prove as they came up against the only team who had defeated them to date, the Adelaide Thunderbirds.
Kate Maloney, that's exceptional there.
After a slow start, the Vixens fired up and took a deserved win, 50-43. Emily Mannix was awarded player of the match with 10 deflections and 8 intercepts, just 1 off the lead record that she had set herself in 2019. Caitlin Thwaites was again seen out in the goal attack position throughout the match, mixing it up with Tegan Phillip and Maui Kamwenda in a versatile goaling circle. The much-anticipated Round 8 clash against the New South Wales Swifts did not disappoint, with the Vixens claiming outright top spot on the ladder after a hard-fought win, 63-60.
What a beautiful move, and then the ball to find it.
The match was the first time the Vixens had beaten the New South Wales Swifts since 2018. In a great game of netball for all to watch, head coach Simone McInnes made the inspiring move to put Katie Ann Dehaney on court at goalkeeper, who provided some flair the team needed.
Those long arms wreaking havoc.
And also gained a game-high 7 deflections in 33 minutes. Down the other end of the court, Maui Kamwenda took to the court for the full 60 minutes for the first time this season, shooting at an impressive 92%.
Round 5, West Coast Fever versus Melbourne Vixens. 7 votes, Kate Eddy. 7 votes, Tegan Phillip. 2 votes, Jo Weston. 2 votes, Liz Watson. Round 6, Melbourne Vixens versus Giants. 7 votes, Kate Maloney. 6 votes, Kate Eddy. 2 votes, Caitlin Thwaites. 2 votes, Emily Mannix. And 1 vote, Liz Watson. Round 7, Adelaide Thunderbirds versus Melbourne Vixens. 9 votes, Emily Mannix. 6 votes, Caitlin Thwaites. 2 votes, Jo Weston. 1 vote, Liz Watson. Round 8, Melbourne Vixens versus New South Wales Swifts. 6 votes, Jo Weston. 6 votes, Liz Watson. 6 votes, Maui Kamwenda. Back to you, Bianca.
Thanks, Rosie, and thank you, Rochelle. Let's take a look at the leaderboard after some incredible performances in those rounds. I think when we get it up there, we'll see. After round 8, the mid-quarters are dominating at the front. Liz Watson, Kate Eddy and Kate Maloney on 34 votes. Before we continue with the remaining votes, I'd like to now welcome Jo Weston and Emily Mannix up onto the stage to assist us in a special presentation. We want to recognise 2 much-loved members of the Vixens who announced their retirement from netball just a couple of weeks ago. Firstly, we would like to acknowledge Melbourne Vixens club member number 12, Caitlin Thwaites, who, as we all know, has now taken to the court at the elite level for 18 seasons. Katie first took the court as a 15-year-old in 2002, representing the Melbourne Kestrels. She was then a member of the inaugural Melbourne Vixens team in 2008 and, of course, the Premiership winning side in 2009. Throughout Katie's career, she has had the opportunity to represent 5 clubs: the Melbourne Kestrels, the Melbourne Vixens, the Central Pulse, New South Wales Swifts, Collingwood Magpies, and then returning to the Melbourne Vixens in 2019. Following the conclusion of the 2019 Constellation Cup, Katie announced her retirement from international netball after playing 55 tests for the Australian Diamonds. Fans were calling for her to come out of international retirement after the performances she has put out there this year, especially in that goal attack position, a position she started her career in all those years ago. I would now like to ask Jo Weston to come forward and to say a few words.
Thank you, Bianca. They've told me to try and keep it short, but I think when you've had such a spectacular career like you have, Katie, it's pretty difficult. I guess I've had the privilege of playing against you my first few years in the Vixens when you're at the Swifts, and there was always a sense of dread as a defender when you were coming up against you in the shooting circle. And you probably don't remember this, but in an under-21 Australian camp, back when I was still playing goalkeeper, though, Renaissance in that this year, you tore me to absolute shreds, and I haven't forgotten it. But aside from that, obviously, you know, you started with the Vixens in the inaugural year, and it's been so lovely to see you come home the last 2 years. And we're so lucky to have sent you off on a high. You're just such a phenomenal, versatile player out on court, out at goal attack. You're so emotionally intelligent, and you are the ultimate team-first person. So congratulations on an amazing career. We can't wait to see what is next for you and Adam and the rest of your family. And we just appreciate the huge sacrifice you have made to come up here, and we love you. So if you could come up on stage, that would be amazing.
How are you going, Katie? Actually, you've got a mic. You don't need mine. You're right. Tears. How does it all feel? When you finished that game, I loved being able to talk to you straight afterwards. But how are you feeling now, a day after?
Yeah, I think it just feels surreal. I think, you know, being up here for so long, we've set our eyes on that target, and I feel like for me in particular, I've just had my blinkers on the whole time to get through the next game and then the next game, and so I think it's the fact that we've managed to do this and overcome so much this season. It's just been really enjoyable to be able to celebrate and kick back with the girls for the last kind of 24 hours and really enjoy it and soak it up.
Let's take it way back. To start playing at this level as a 15-year-old is incredible, and to be able to stay in it for 18 seasons. Could you ever imagine it would finish this way and that you'd play for so long?
No, I don't think so. I think, back then, you know,
back in the day,
you know all too well. I think the league was very different. There was a lot of us that got a start really young, and the opportunity was there to be able to do that. And so the fact that the league has taken so many progressions forward, and it's, we've stepped it up. We've got so many internationals here now. Those opportunities aren't coming for people so young anymore. But it's, to me, it just makes it really special that I've been able to do it for such a long time. And I've made so many friends and so many, I'm just so grateful for all of the opportunities that I've had across my career, and I'm very thankful to all of the people that have been a part of that.
I know it's probably hard to pick some moments, but are there some moments that really do stand out that you're the most proud of?
I think so many of my memories are just around the people and the experiences and the things that we have together. So we've had so many of those up here, being in a hub. And just, for me, it's those in-between moments. It's the sitting in the change room stuff. It's the, on the bus on the way somewhere, and when things go wrong and shit hits the fan and we have to sort our way through things. And like I said, there's been so much of that this year. And those memories are the things that I will hold really special.
And so when you go out there, we've spoken a lot about you retired internationally and you got to enjoy a season where you didn't have that pressure on you from the Diamonds. Do you think that was a huge factor in how you played this year?
I'm not sure, to be honest. If it wasn't a conscious thing. I think for me, just getting out there and really enjoying it. And I think I mentioned it to the girls really early on. Even when Maloney's giving us a rev up in the huddle, a lot of the time there's photos of our huddle and everybody's really serious and we're like really intently looking at Kate, and I'm standing there with a big grin on my face, and because I'm just really enjoyed getting out there and playing and being out there this season. And I think to a certain extent it's felt like I've been able to play free, because I've not been trying to hold that spot in the Aussie team, or I've not been trying to kind of prove myself, and that has been really refreshing.
And I'm sure after 18 years at the top, there's probably a few people that you'd like to thank. Yeah, I think, just the support from everybody, especially my family. They've, mum and dad have been there the entire time, and my brother, his family, Sarah, Harry and Frida at home. I've been getting messages from them before every game saying, shoot Katie, shoot, which has been the cutest thing. And that support, I think, for me has really got me through, especially this year. And the sacrifices and everything that my family and everybody have had to make as well for me to be able to continue to keep doing this. So I really look forward to being able to put you guys first and not have to say, no, sorry, I can't be there for that because of netball. So for everybody, all of the coaches, the staff that have been a part of the teams, the community groups and things that I've really thrown myself into, that stuff for me, that just the netball community and my teammates have been a really, really huge part of that. So I thank you, all of you girls who are here, but all of my past teammates as well. And big thank you to my partner Adam as well. You no longer have to share me with netball, and I love you. So, yeah. Please, everyone, put your hands together for Caitlin Thwaites, and let's take a look at some of your highlights over the years.
Katie is the ultimate team player. She's so emotionally intelligent. She's so fiercely competitive out on court, and she is just an incredibly accurate shooter. And apart from all of that, she's just such an amazing human.
I remember you as that 15-year-old coming down from the country, and have just been incredibly impressed and in fact inspired by what you have done across your career. You've faced heaps and heaps of challenges, and your resilience and ability to adapt and grow within that has been something that I have loved watching. One of my favourite memories of the Melbourne Vixens is winning that Premiership back in 2009, and I vividly remember when that final whistle went and I leapt into your arms. I'll never forget it and feel really, really blessed that I was able to share it with someone like you. A huge congratulations on what a wonderful career you have had. You're an incredible athlete, a wonderful person more importantly, and I just wanted to say well done and all the best for what's ahead.
Congratulations, you've had such a phenomenal career, and I'm so lucky, I think, just to have even been a small part of that, and we'll miss you.
Congratulations again, Caitlin Thwaites. We also have another retiree in the room, our Melbourne Vixens Club member, number 19, Tegan Phillip. Tegan's story is a little bit different to Katie's. Woo! Not only has she played at the elite level for 11 years, but she was able to continue her career across the 11 years at one club, right here at the Melbourne Vixens. Tegan's debut for the Vixens came in 2010 when an injury to Sharelle McMahon mid-match allowed her to take the court for the first time, and since then she has never looked back. From being named the Melbourne Vixens Rookie of the Year in her debut season, Phillip went on to be an integral part of the Vixens 2014 Premiership winning team, including being awarded the Player of the Match in the Grand Final. 2014 was a standout year in Tegan's career. It was the year she also made her debut for the Australian Diamonds, whom she could go on and make 14 Test appearances for. Tegan was then named joint runner-up for the 2015 Sharelle McMahon medal after a dominant season. In 2016, Teags was sidelined. She had a really tough year for that season due to a pre-season ACL injury. But come 2017, Tegan rallied and recovered well and returned to the court as the co-vice captain, a position she would go on to hold for 3 seasons. In 2019, Phillip surpassed my own record, being the most capped Vixen, when she played her 112th game in the iconic Vixens dress. Phillip has now played 133 games in a Vixens dress and is one of just 4 Vixens to have played 100 club games. I now welcome Emily Mannix to say a few words.
I'm going to keep this very brief after last year's performance from me. Tegan, congratulations on an amazing year and lifetime of netball, it feels. But as we know, Tegan is our token redhead of the team, which we'll now lose. But we all know what she brings to the team. She has always been such a team player. She drives that baseline like there's no tomorrow. Her speed and her athleticism and her Sammy Stozer arms in the gym, I think we'll miss the most. Although Maloney might be able to overtake you with chin-ups now that you're gone, and probably never have to do a yo-yo again, which you haven't done one for a long time, but that's all right. But what you've been through, and with your knee and everything that's gone on behind the scenes, has been really hard for Tegs, but she just soldiers on and she does her job and she plays her role, and I think this year you should be so proud of what you've achieved. And don't want to cry, but my Geelong pal, the amount of times that we call each other up the highway and home and have these really deep and meaningful chats about, you know, life and the traffic and mainly traffic jams, but we've had some really good chats on our way home, and I'm really going to miss that. But I know I'll still keep in touch with Tegs because she's such an amazing person. But good luck with everything in your next stage of life. I know teaching, Joshi, starting a family, whatever it may be, you're going to smash it. And you know what? One day maybe your kids will be playing for Vixens or trying to overtake your chin-up record or something. But congrats, Tegs. We love you and all the best for your future.
Okay, Teags, you're up now. How are you feeling, Teags, after announcing it just before the final series, now playing out those finals, getting the win, your second win for the club? Yeah. How does it feel?
It feels pretty cool, actually. Just super grateful and excited for the win and what I've gone through, what we've gone through as a club, and the time that I've spent here. Just super happy.
Now, we personally have played many games together.
Yes.
Is there a particular time over those 11 seasons that stand out, moments to you that you're like, yep, that is where I really dug in and performed better than what you ever expected yourself to be able to do?
Well, I know you mentioned it before, but I often say just the year of 2014. The Premiership, we won. Debuting at the Commonwealth Games, the gold medal, we won. You know, those, just that year was an amazing year on court and one that I certainly won't forget. And then obviously this year is just on its own par.
Everyone talks about your chin-up record.
Yes.
What is it?
I think it was 12 or something.
Who challenges you on that? Who
Kate
comes
Maloney.
Oh,
She's
no.
close.
She's close.
She always makes me go first too.
We've always seen you absolutely dominate on the court, but specifically in the gym. Do you love it? Like, what do you love about the weights room? Because you're always so ripped. We always comment on those Sam Stozer arms. There's been plenty of photos that we've seen side by side comparing the two of you. Do you love it, or are you just naturally gifted?
Bit of both. No, No, I do love it. I don't know. I like lifting weights. And I didn't do it when I was younger, and it wasn't until I was 20, 21 when I actually started to get into the gym and do something. It is one of the exercises that I do enjoy.
Crazy that you do actually enjoy that.
Right? Not the yo-yo. I don't.
Nobody enjoys the yo-yo, I don't think. So tell me, when you started playing for this club, did you expect it to turn out like it has and for you to have played for 11 seasons?
Yeah, no. Like, to be honest, in that first year, maybe two, I actually thought, like, it was so hard. I don't know if I want to do this for a long time. I actually thought that, and I remember thinking that. Like, it was just another level, and I'd never trained like that, or the commitment and driving to Melbourne, you know, so often from Geelong. I just had no idea what it was going to be like, and I just... You know, there were players that had been playing for so long. I was like, just how? How do you do that? Like, I don't know if I'm going to do that. And here I am. I did it.
You certainly did do it. We know the season has been away from home. You've played many, many games at home in front of a Melbourne crowd. What is it like, and what's been the difference this year? How tough has it been not having the fans here?
Yeah, it has been tough, and I've said it a few times now, but we actually just miss our fans, and you just... you know, we certainly appreciate our fans and everything you do and the support you give us, but when we don't have it, like, it's so obvious and we just crave it more, and obviously super disappointed we didn't get to play one game at home, but we know that you guys will all be there next season supporting all of these girls, doing a fantastic job, and I'll be with you.
You sure will. Now, I'm going to hand it over to you. Okay. Surely there has to be people you want to thank.
Oh, yes. I've been told to keep it short. Right. Firstly the club and all the support staff that I've been with over my time. It's been an amazing experience, lots of highs and lots of lows, but so much support and love from you all. To the players here now and all the players that I've played with over my time, it's just been, an amazing experience, so many memories that I'll cherish. VIS, I came in as that 20-year-old at the Collingwood Football Club at the time when we were based there. And it's been, super cool to just have you guys supporting and being able to train at the VIS across, you know, lifting big in the gym, giving me my Sam Stozer arms. So that's been really cool. But, everyone that supports the Vixens, the fans, our supporters, you guys are awesome, and absolutely love it. My friends and family, you guys have been amazing. So many sacrifices that I've had to make, but like, you guys have just 100% supported me all the way. Mum, Dad, brother and sister, thank you. Love you. And my husband Josh, who's a bit of a star. And, you know, may or may not have started the Vixmen and their entertainment that they have provided over the years, so thank you. And lastly, I'd just like to acknowledge God and thank him for, everything that he's provided me. It certainly wouldn't be the experience that I've had without that, so thank you.
Well, stay with me, Tees. Let's take a look at some of your highlights over those 11 seasons.
Tegan's someone who has been with the Vixens right from the start, and you can just tell her dedication, her passion and her drive to stay at this level for so long is something that we need to commend her for.
It hasn't always been easy. You've had injuries along the way. It's been a real roller coaster ride, but I think that's what you should be very proud of, how you've always fought back.
I think that speed, that agility, that passion, and just the way that she goes out there and you can tell that she's playing for her teammates and she really wants the win for her team.
I think you'll always remember 2014 when we got to win with the Vixens. You got player of the match. You made the Diamonds, went to the Com Games and got to experience your first test match over there and then to win a gold medal. It was just an enormous year. Congratulations to you on your retirement. What an incredible career that you have had, and I feel very privileged that I've got to play alongside you. I look forward to seeing what you do next, Teagues, but that smiling face, we'll certainly miss that on the court.
We're going to miss you so much. You are everything that the Vixen stands for, and I just wish you the very best of luck. Look after that body. I really hope that you can still walk after leaving us, but thank you for all the memories. It's been amazing, and I just wish you the very, very best of luck, and congratulations.
Congratulations. Please put your hands together again for both Caitlin Thwaites and Tegan Phillip. Well, it's now time to continue the vote count, rounds 9 to 12. I'd like to welcome Netball Victoria General Manager of the Vixens, Performance and Pathways, Bex Webster, to the stage to read out the votes, rounds 9 to 12. But before we get to that, let's take a look at the highlights.
A blistering second half saw the Vixens run out 73 to 53 winners over the Giants in round 9. Maui Kamwenda, Caitlin Thwaites and Tegan Phillip all spent time on court, shooting at over 80% collectively. Versatility in defence was also shown again, with Kate Eddy and Jo Weston switching positions at the start of the third quarter.
What a ball from Liz Watson to Kamwenda.
Liz Watson was named player of the match with 33 goal assists and 48 feeds. Round 10 saw the Melbourne Vixens and the West Coast Fever play out a thrilling 63-all draw. The 1 versus 4 clash lived up to its billing of being a top 4 blockbuster, with the Vixens coming from as many as 14 goals down, nearly snatching the game from the Fever. Due to injury, Emily Mannix was sidelined for the match, but this gave defender Katie Ann Dehaney the opportunity to start on her Jamaican teammate and in-form shooter Janelle Fowler.
Clever stuff by Dehaney.
Squad member Ali Smith also saw major court time in the second half and provided instant energy and grit on the court in her debut in the Vixens dress. Veteran goaler and Confident Girls Foundation ambassador Caitlin Thwaites was once again impressive in her newfound position out in goal attack. Fittingly, she was named the Nissan Player of the Match after shooting at 91.7%. Round 11 saw the first place Vixens take on the second place New South Wales Swifts in a must-win rematch of the thriller played out just 10 days earlier. Both teams came out firing and couldn't be split after the first break. However, the Vixens broke the game open in the second term and secured the win 62 to 55, awarding them the Sergeant McInnes Cup for season 2020.
What a ball from Liz Watson.
The Vixens shooting circle was once again formidable, with Maui Kamwenda and Caitlin Thwaites playing out the entire 60 minutes at goal shooter and goal attack respectively for the first time this season.
2-point zone from Maui Kamwenda and the finish, if you don't mind.
In round 12, the Vixens secured the minor premiership with an 8-point win in the Victorian Derby against the Collingwood Magpies, but in Brisbane. The Magpies came out firing at the start of the match, but the Vixens were able to claw their way back to gain the win 61 to 53.
A beautiful defensive effort there from Maui Kamwenda.
Kate Maloney was awarded player of the match, taking her leadership to the next level. Taylor Honey also relished the opportunity in being named in the starting 7 for the first time in her career.
Round 9, Giants versus Melbourne Vixens. 7 votes, Liz Watson. 5 votes, Caitlin Thwaites. 2 votes, Jo Weston. 2 votes, Kate Maloney. 1 vote, Kate Eddy, and 1 vote, Emily Mannix. Round 10, Melbourne Vixens versus West Coast Fever. 6 votes, Caitlin Thwaites. 4 votes, Kate Eddy. 4 votes, Jo Weston. 3 votes, Maui Kamwenda. And 1 vote, Liz Watson. Round 11, New South Wales Swifts versus Melbourne Vixens. 6 votes, Maui Kamwenda. 5 votes, Jo Weston. 3 votes, Caitlin Thwaites. 2 votes, Kate Eddy. 1 vote, Kate Maloney, and 1 vote, Ali Smith. Round 12, Collingwood Magpies versus Melbourne Vixens. 8 votes, Kate Maloney. 7 votes, Jo Weston. 2 votes, Caitlin Thwaites, and 1 vote, Emily Mannix.
Thank you very much for that, Beck. We have now come to our final 2 matches of the season. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from rounds 13 and 14.
Round 13 saw the Vixens travel to Cairns for the league's Indigenous round for a terrific celebration of Indigenous culture. Sadly, the results did not end in the Vixens' favour, going down to the Queensland Firebirds 64-58, just their second loss of the season. Caitlin Thwaites was one of the Vixens' best in a losing team, missing just 1 attempt for the entire match. The focus quickly turned to the final match of the season and gaining redemption prior to finals. In round 14, the Vixens were able to return to the winners list, wrapping up the season with a 4-goal win over the Sunshine Coast Lightning, 58-54. Liz Watson took to the court to play her 100th National League match after missing the last 2 matches due to injury, making her just the 4th Vixen to reach this milestone in the club's 12-year history.
Oh, what a double play. Liz Watson, Maui Kamwenda.
Maui Kamwenda celebrated her birthday by taking out the player of the match after shooting at 97% efficiency.
Oh, great take from Kamwenda.
Whilst Emily Mannix was able to impose 5 deflections throughout the match. Round 13, Melbourne Vixens versus Queensland Firebirds. 6 votes, Kate Eddy. 6 votes, Caitlin Thwaites. 4 votes, Katie Ann Dehaney. 2 votes, Kate Maloney. Round 14, Sunshine Coast Lightning versus Melbourne Vixens. 8 votes, Maui Kamwenda. 7 votes, Jo Weston. 3 votes, Kate Maloney. Well, that's all the voting done. Over to you, Bianca.
Thank you, Sharelle. Well, that brings us to the end of our vote count for the 2020 season. It's now time to announce our Sharelle McMahon medalist and runner-up. I'd like to welcome Simone McInnes back to the stage to help us with the presentation. That's it. Give her a round of applause, girls. I'm going to throw it back to Sharelle to announce our runner-up.
On 40 votes, it's a tie for runner-up between Jo Weston and Kate Eddy.
I'm going to start with you, Kate. Come up here. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Were you keeping tally in your head? Did you have any idea where you were sitting in the votes?
No, actually, I'm really shocked. I'm speechless.
Let's talk about the season. How hard has it been and what has got you through? What is it about this club that's helped you get through this season?
Oh, I think the people, like, as everyone said, it's just such a family. And I think I was going back to Melbourne, I came to the Vixens to be at home. And, you know, that obviously didn't go to plan this year, but I just think that I was home. Like, I'm amongst so many great people, and it was just amazing. Like, yeah, as everyone has said, it's just so nice to be with everyone here.
Now, I'm sure everyone at home can notice that you are still in your boot. Can you give us a bit of an update? Because it was always a bit of a mystery what the injury was and whether you were going to play, but now it's all over and you've won it and you got out there. Can you tell us what it was and how are you coping now?
So I do think that nothing was wrong. So when we went to the scan, we were just going to clear everything, and I ended up having a stress reaction in one of my bones in my foot. So I will be in this for quite a while, but Emma and John, they were absolutely amazing. I saw Emma 2 times a day. She's like my best friend now. It's really cute. I had to send her a photo of my foot today because we took foot up photos every single day, and so today I didn't get to send her one, so I sent her one. But you know, I'm just so grateful that I got to play this year after what happened last year, and yeah, I'm super grateful for everyone and everyone's support. Yeah.
And then finally, talk about the game yesterday. There was one moment and you took just such a pivotal intercept in the game when you came out there on a centre pass. What was it like to be out there and win your first premiership out on court?
It was pretty incredible. You know, last year I was pretty disappointed that I didn't get to be out on court, but you know, it's just so special, and I'm so grateful the support that Simone and everyone had for me, just to go out there, and I just tried to forget about my foot and everything. It was just, yeah, it was just crazy, and I'm really speechless.
Well, congratulations to our first runner-up in the Sharelle McMahon medal.
Joe Weston read that beautifully. Reads that beautifully. Yeah, lovely read and just committed to the superstar.
Oh, Weston's already. Gosh, came from nowhere, didn't she?
Great reach over the ball, Joe Weston. Oh, gee, well read by Kate Eddy. Had to come from halfway across the court to get that one. Oh, the little hand from Joe Weston. Well, I shouldn't say the little hand, it's the big long arm. Oh, hands from Joe Weston. Well, there's that 17 centimetres coming into flush. Nowhere to go, Sinclair. That was great defensive. Oh, clever stuff from Kate Eddy. Read the hand.
Oh, great intercept, Joe Weston.
Kate Eddy just pushed Glasgow out of the way and found the ball. Smith out looking. Kate Eddy, terrific stuff.
Okay, Joe, it's your turn now. We've spoken a lot about how challenging the season has been, but I'm sure, and I've heard about many of them, there's been so many fun times about hub life together. Can you take us through what some of those have been?
Oh, where do I begin? I don't know. It's just been so amazing, I think, living in close proximity with all of our teammates. It's been, obviously, I live by myself at home, so I don't have any sisters, and everyone in the room's probably like, oh, we've got our own family. But for me, that's why netball is always, I think, rung so true. It's about the female friendships you build on and off the court, and I'm sure I can be a little bit annoying at sometimes, but hopefully I end up more in the endearing column most of the time.
Well, let's talk about the off-court stuff, because you and Emily Mannix love filming some videos, your TikToks and whatever, or they're not TikToks, are they, Emily? We're not allowed to talk about that. But tell me about them. How much work goes into them? Is she a good assistant in these videos?
Yeah, it's mainly Emily's ideas and I just capitalise off most of them. But no, it's kind of fun. I mean, I feel like social media these days is all about just trying to be who you are. And as most of my teammates, I was actually giving them a sneak preview to my tap routine earlier before we came here. So it's only a matter of time before that makes its way onto my own Instagram.
Let's, on a serious note, talk about yesterday's game. When I came and spoke to you minutes after, you were so emotional. There's a brilliant photo that I've seen on Instagram of you've got your head in your hands, and I think Tegan's sitting next to you. What were you thinking in that moment? Why did it really hit you hard right then?
It's no offence to all of my teammates and our support crew, but given the last few games I've individually played in, I honestly thought we were going to lose by a close margin. And last year at the World Cup, I took that loss pretty badly because I didn't think I performed very well individually. And for me, I think it was just like pure excitement and a bit of relief to finally be in the winner's circle because, you know, Fever is such a phenomenal opponent, especially coming up against Val. But I think I gave her a good one, so I'll take that one.
She certainly did. On your own performance, you say that, but you had a phenomenal game yesterday. I don't know if you've watched it back yet, but you played such a pivotal role. What was it? What was the plan down in that defence end when you went out there on court?
I think it was like the full court defence. Simone talks about all of us being the shield for Em or Katie, who's at the back and goalkeeper. And I think it's a credit to Kate Eddy, wherever she's gone over there, about all the work she's done in the last 10 days to get herself to be out there on court, because I know I'm the type of player who loves to be training well to play well. And it's an enormous achievement that for her to be out there and all of us working in a defensive unit. But yeah, yesterday was so great.
It was so great, and I don't want to hold you up. I want you to be able to keep celebrating. So everyone, please put your hands together for Jo Weston and Kate Eddy, our two runners-up in the Sharelle McMahon Medal for 2020. Well, it has been a season to remember, that is for sure. But it's now time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Let us get back to Sharelle so she can announce the winner of the 2020 Sharelle McMahon Medal. They get to take home the 2020 medalist, a gift voucher from Deakin University, a trophy, and a beautiful Sharelle McMahon medalist necklace. Over to you, Sharelle.
The Sharelle McMahon medalist for season 2020 on 50 votes is Kate Maloney.
While Kate is coming up to the stage, let's take a look at the final leaderboard. Here we go. This is the final leaderboard for the Sharelle McMahon Medal in 2020. Didn't you bring a mic with you, Kate? Here you go, you can share with me. Come over here. Yep. Do you need me to hold all this?
You can hold that.
All right. Firstly, congratulations. Did you have any idea you were going to be sitting at top at the end of this?
Thanks, Bianca. No, I had absolutely no idea, and I think what's been so great about this team this year, and I think what's made us so successful, is the depth that we've had across this whole group and the consistency that everyone's been able to perform. So, completely shocked and just, look, to be honest, yesterday was just a dream come true. So,
can you take us through from the very start in pre-season when you didn't know what was going on? Give everyone at home a bit of an understanding around what training looked like when we were all in lockdown. How did you actually get together? How did you even prepare? Did you play any practice matches beforehand?
It was completely strange. You know, it was the longest pre-season ever. I think it was maybe up to 8 months. We were sent home to do all of our training on our own, which, you know, we play a team sport because we love training together, and being out on a track in Melbourne in winter, in the freezing cold, doing our running sessions. And I'll still remember this. John said, well, every other team will be training in their states because it's not raining. So you guys, you have no excuse not to get out there, you know, if we want to be at the same level as everyone else. And it's a credit to absolutely every single one of these girls, because we didn't know if we were going to play. We didn't know if we were going to have a competition. And it didn't stop anyone from pushing themselves as hard as they did. And look, I think that moment where we got to the airport to head to Queensland is just one of the most important ones for me this year. And I could not be more proud of this group.
You talk about how proud you are. For you personally, I think you've taken your game to a whole new level this year. You've shared the captaincy with Liz Watson. Emily Mannix has stepped up into the leadership group as well. What's it been like for you as leaders stepping out there on court?
Yeah, you know, I've absolutely loved working with both Lizzie and Em this year, and to be able to share that role with Lizzie has been amazing. She's been
a leader for our club for so long, and the way that she leads out on court and off the court as well, I think we just work really well together. We both lead in different ways, and I've really enjoyed sharing that role, and it's been such a big year and being in this hub, and I think having that support from Lizzie, Emily and just the rest of the group has really helped.
You continue to get fitter and fitter. What do you like doing? What's the training and the kind of prep that you go into your games? We know you love being in the gym as well, just like Teagues. Talk us through it though. What's been the prep? What's been the difference this year?
What's been the difference this year? I'm not too sure. I've always loved being in the gym, and I've always loved running and that side of things. So for me, going out and doing that is probably something that I find a little bit easier. But for me, it's probably just more working on the stuff on court, which is really important for me, whether that's trying to improve my feeding or, going hard first ball contest in D and stuff like that. So I think it's probably more the on-court stuff.
What about the preparation pre-game? We can't possibly have you up here without mentioning the tan. It would have been very tricky, Kate, having multiple games in a week, because usually you're just getting ready for one game, you can scrub it off and then go again. How did you cope with that this year?
You're only bringing this up because you tan just as much as anyone in this room.
I'm happy to admit it.
Okay, but I will admit 2 games a week did make it a little bit more difficult for the tanning regime. And Joey, myself, Kate, there's quite a few of us, and we'd have conversations throughout the week as to how we were going to prepare best for that. But on a side note, away from tanning, we really enjoyed the double games. I think for us, we've trained for so long, having really tough midweek training sessions. And so to be able to just, especially living in a hub environment as well, to be able to play, recover, play again, it made that time go really quick.
Okay, well, I'm going to hand it over to you now because I'm sure you've got some people you want to thank.
Once again, just like yesterday, I'm a little bit speechless. But look, there's so many people that I'd like to thank. Firstly, to this whole club. This year has been absolutely incredible. We didn't know if we were going to play, but the planning that went into place from Beck, Simone, Lisa, and the whole gang, I don't know how you made it happen, but you did. And I know that I speak for everyone when I say thank you to all of you. You've made it such an enjoyable ride for all of us, and I'm so proud to play for this club. To Simone, to Di, to Suze and Sharelle, who are back at home as well. Simone and Di, you've been there from the very start for me since I started at the Vixens, and you've helped turn me into the player and the person that I am as well. So I have so much to thank to both of you guys. To all of our support staff who packed up their lives and joined us over here, thank you so much. To the amazing group of girls who are standing in front of me, I love each and every single one of you. I love that your bedrooms are now just across the road from me. I'm going to miss spending every single day with you guys, and it's going to be very strange going back home to Melbourne, but you guys have made this year so enjoyable, and it's a credit to every single one of you for embracing every obstacle that's been thrown at us. To all of our Melbourne Vixens fans back home, to have your support here has been absolutely amazing, and we can't wait to play a game in front of you next year. To my family and friends back at home, I miss you all so much, and I can't wait to come home and see you all. But thank you to everyone, and can't wait to keep celebrating the Premiership with you all.
Let's take a look at some of your highlights from the season.
Vixens are playing with smiles on their face at the moment, and that's why Maloney thrust the ball. Kate Maloney read that beautifully. Well, that's exceptional there.
Kate Maloney come up with the goods.
Big win there for Kate Maloney.
Oh, Maloney, what an effort. That was an AFL-style contest in the air. Oh!
Oh, she's pumped, isn't she? Quick through corner, the Melbourne Vixens. Maloney finds Kumwenda. Oh, they've shifted a gear, the Victorians.
Can everyone please stand up, and if you're at home, stand up as well. Grab your glasses and raise them, please, for our 2020 Sharelle McMahon medalist, Kate Maloney. To the very end of our formalities this evening. Thank you again for joining us tonight to celebrate the Melbourne Vixens Premiership and our 2020 Sharelle McMahon medalist, Kate Maloney. Congratulations to all of our award recipients and to all of our supporters. Thank you again for all of your support throughout 2020. We look forward to bringing that Premiership trophy home to you all in Melbourne and celebrating over the coming months. Until then, stay safe, and we look forward to celebrating with everyone in Victoria soon.
Just like a